Company High School Hoops, presented by Bath Fitter.
Welcome in.
This is Watsontown Trucking Company High School Hoops, presented by Bath Fitter.
Welcome inside Shamokin Area High School tonight. Start again, please. Welcome to our final regular season and playoff game here on MyTV WQMY for High School Hoops, and pleasure to have Mr. Basketball himself, Doug Walsh, courtside with me tonight. And Doug, kind of surprised to see this matchup, especially with the Warriors. They upset Dallas to get that third seed, and then Shamokin Area, they were favored to win the district title, but they lost to Danville for the third straight year a week ago.
Yeah, Danville kind of has Shamokin's number, put them into the 2 seed, and Wyoming Area, after losing to Dallas by 30 in the playoff game up at Wilkes-Barre, came back and knocked them off to gain the number 3 seed. So this should be interesting.
Should be. The Warriors, inconsistent all year, up and down. They could win by 25 or upset Dallas to make the playoffs. But one consistent player we've seen all year long is our Watsontown trucking spotlight player, Luke Kopechny.
Yeah, he averages a double-double. He gets 20 and 10 every night. He's scored over 540 points this year. He makes threes. He shoots 78% from the foul line, Bob, but he gets there a lot. He gets there 168 times this year. You can see why he's Wyoming Valley Conference's Division II Player of the Year, and he's only a sophomore.
For the Indians, they returned their entire lineup that we saw play Valley View here just about a year ago. Their one goal, well, they didn't get it because they didn't win the district title. But they can move on in the state playoffs, and they'll need a big game tonight from our other Watsontown trucking spotlight player, Joey Heil.
Now, Joey Heil, he leads the team in almost every category. Assists, he shoots the three, he's got good size, he makes threes. He can post guys up because he's bigger, and you might see him do that tonight.
Well, Joey will play for Susquehanna next year. So let's go to our Good Feet store keys to the game. First for the Warriors.
Well, they have to handle the pressure. Shamokin's going to jump the pick and roll. They're going to jump the switch. They're going to jump the dribble handoff, and they have to slow this game down. Wyoming area has to do that. They don't want to get in a track meet with these guys. Shamokin's going to try to wreak havoc and create all kinds of difficulty on the defensive end. And they're going to play inside out. You're going to see them jam it into the post once in a while and then come back outside.
Well, it's the first meeting between the two schools, and both are trying to make some history. It's the opening round of the PIAA 4A Boys Playoffs. It's Wyoming area and Shamokin next.
Let's check in now on our Bat Fitters starting lineups for the Warriors of Wyoming area. 17 and 9 coming in. Two seniors in the starting lineup. At guard will be Shane Pepe, Anthony DeLuca, Lucas Barakevich, Luke Kopechny, and the biggest player for Wyoming area, Drew Keating, just a sophomore. For the Shamokin Indians, 23 and 4 overall, 11 and 0 in the PHAC. Their starting lineup will look like this. It will same as a year ago. It'll be Rylan Price, Joe Heil, Colin Steinhardt, Case Lichty, and Jensen Shuey. Referees tonight from District 4, John Medano, Jeff Bauer, and Brian Albertson. And we're all set to go here in the Purple Pit as we get this PIAA playoffs underway throughout the state of Pennsylvania. Tipped away, Steinhardt grabs it, gives it over to the senior Price, and Shamokin area in the white and purple will have the ball first. Wyoming area in the road green with the gold trim.
Wyoming area starting out man-to-man.
Price from the downtown, connects, hit three.
And just what we said about one of the keys, they want to go inside and then come back outside. The first possession, they go in and they come back out for a three.
Price is 44-3 on the year to get the Bugs out of their system after losing the year last week to Danville in the district finals. Wyoming area. Barakevich downtown trying to match the score, can't get it. Heil to Shuey. Shuey inside off a Wyoming area foot. It will be Indian ball underneath.
Well, they tried to post up Shuey. He was waiting for his teammates to come down, looking for somebody on the perimeter. And the double down knocked it out of bounds.
Heil in the paint, up and over.
Niles Strong going toward the basket. They'll post him up as well.
Wyoming area averaging about 56.5 points per game. The Indians giving up 50 points per game. You would think Wyoming area's got to be in the 60s if they have a chance here tonight.
They ran a little play there for DeLuca for a wide open jumper. Just couldn't hit it.
This is a very good Indian team. Just some unfortunate a week ago in their third meeting of the year with the Ironmen in that final where they lost by 1 point. Shuey little turnaround jumper. And it's a 7-0 lead.
You see Shamokin coming out focused with a purpose.
Very experienced Indian team, especially in the state playoffs. They haven't won one since 2009, but this particular group has been in the playoffs every year. Where Wyoming area, this is a new thing for them. Let's see how the jitters play out.
Well, you would expect them to be a little bit nervous, yes, sir. And on the road, Shamokin will be a little bit more comfortable in their own building.
So the first foul went to Shuey. Price knocks it away. And it's pulled in by Keating. Off to Kopechny on Heil. Great matchup of number threes. Keating against the bigger Shuey, gets it back out.
You see Bob Shamokin has Wyoming area pushed out pretty far away from that basket running their offense.
Back outside, and they'll give it to Kopechny at the top. Kopechny, one of the players of the year in the Wyoming Valley Conference. In the corner, Pepe, way off the mark. Out in front to Steinhardt. Clear path to the basket. Dunkaroo for Shamokin. Timeout, Wyoming area.
Timeout, Wyoming area.
That's just what the doctor ordered if you're an Indians fan. For the Warriors, not so much.
Yeah, that's just what they wanted to do. Shamokin come out to a fast start, and when you're Wyoming area on the road, you try to get off to a fast start, but the defense of Shamokin is really giving Wyoming area fits.
The Indians, of course, losing last week. Before that, they beat Central Columbia, and an easy dunk for the 6'3" sophomore Steinhardt out in front, and that's going to be a disadvantage. And we talked about it. Said it last year as well. This is a big Shamokin team.
Yeah.
You look at them, other than Price, almost everybody's over 6 foot tall.
And they're strong, too. You can see them, and they're athletic. You know, see they're going to pick up three-quarter court. They're going to try to control this game defensively all night long.
Wyoming area is going to be caught on a travel. That was DeLuca. And a turnover, and already a 9-0 lead here, just about less than 3 minutes into this contest.
As soon as it comes over the timeline, they run a double team and they trap the ball and they cause the turnover there.
Winner of tonight's game gets Allentown Central Catholic or West Philly. Back inside to Shuey. They're working around for a shot outside for Lichty. Was off the mark, but a big board from Steinhardt up and under.
His size is definitely noticeable. The differential.
Wyoming area cannot afford turnovers. They do. Up quickly to Lichty. He lays it up and in. And Wyoming area is unable to score anything or even break the press at this point. Kind of we thought could happen when you talk to people. But again, Wyoming area was in a big hole against Dallas, too, and came back to battle and beat them. So we'll have to see how things play out. Blocked by the taller Heil. Another one from Steinhardt.
You see they love to run. They love to run off their good defense. And thus far, the first 4 minutes, they're playing outstanding defense.
Urkevich off the backboard. Keating fighting, and finally, Wyoming area gets on the board.
Maybe that'll make them feel a little bit more comfortable now. Although they struggled for that basket also, though. The Wyoming area will go slow, Bob. They're not going to push it up. They don't want to run with these guys.
Nice move by Kopechny. Didn't get the foul. Price running the floor. And an easy bucket for him. And I don't know if the Wyoming area coach can wait for the media timeout.
Well, Shamokin's start is almost perfect. The first 5 minutes here, 6 minutes.
Finally get a whistle, and that should be our timeout. 3:20 with a foul on the floor. Let's see. And we will. Well, a great opening for the home team, Shamokin. Trying to come back after that loss in the District 4 final. 17-2 the score.
The Jeff Ryan State Farm marquee matchup features two players with good size. Wyoming area's Drew Keating is asked to defend the opponent's post-up players inside. He's good in the pick and roll, and he gets a ton of rebounds. And Shamokin's Jensen Shuey, although he may be the biggest body on the floor, he can step out and face the basket as well. He'll draw bigger defenders away from the basket, and you can't let him shoot the three. That makes Drew Keating, Jensen Shuey, the Jeff Ryan State Farm, tonight's marquee matchup to watch.
So during that, Wyoming area put up a 3, down 17-5. Let's see if that gets them going, but countered by Lichty pretty quick. So a 15-point advantage for the Indians. To come in averaging 68 points per game.
If you're Wyoming area, you just want to run your offense a little bit, get some screens inside, maybe get an easy one inside.
Berkevich scored that 3 for Wyoming area. So they have 5 on the board. And they've been in this position before throughout the year. But it's going to be tough against this Indian team here at home. And especially if everyone's connected from downtown.
They couldn't ask for a better start. Everybody clicking on all cylinders here for Shamokin to start this ball game.
A huge first quarter. Wyoming area, before beating Dallas, lost to Prep 66-32. And they beat Berwick before that 53-51. So, again, a year where they surprised some people as Kopechny floats one nicely.
Yeah, Kopechny's going to have to try to do most of the scoring here for Wyoming area. They're having trouble putting the ball in the ocean, so he's going to have to take charge.
I think we've gone to a zone for Wyoming area, looks like.
Yeah, a 2-3 zone. Coach Macario said he plays zone.
Knocked away, here comes Keating. Opportunity to run. Berkevich lost the handle.
They had an outnumbered situation there, but Macario just lost the handle.
In the corner for Price. Counter. So Price has 3 threes. He has 11 points. The average is just about 7.5, so he's well above that coming in. He did have 20 points against Selinsgrove this year. Inside Wyoming area, we have a foul. And Kopechny went up and in. Foul against the Indians. It should be their third. And now we'll have a couple more subs come in. Xavier Paul. There is Anthony Macario. 7th year at Wyoming area. Coached at Pittston as an assistant for a long time.
He brought Alec Geisinger over with them, and they got Ian Gilmartin on the bench over there.
Joey Heil for the Indians took a seat. He has 2 personal fouls. So into the game, we have Xavier Paul, number 32, a freshman for the Indians, and also Cruz Schor, a 6'3 sophomore, number 5.
Well, Shamokin will go 9 or 10 deep. The way they play, they need all hands on deck.
Kopechny will push the pace a little bit. Try to do one-on-one. Good move. And that's going to help.
You see that he has the confidence, and he knows he's going to need to score.
Yeah, he'll play the middle of the zone. Petchy 6'1", Keating about 6'2", so not huge size, as the Indians now will save the last shot for this first quarter with time expiring.
If you're Wyoming area on a miss, make sure they don't get a tip in or an easy putback.
Inside, knocked away, and well, a jump ball with 3 seconds left as Paul tried to put it up and in. Wyoming area, a little bit of time. I suspect the Indians will press, though, here. Try to slow things down.
Yeah, they do have a foul to give should they choose to.
Kevich from half court, pump fake, off the mark, and it's a huge start for the home team. 26 up on the board. Wyoming area trails the Indians. We're back in the purple pit. Shamokin, the runner-up for District 4, coming out on fire. They didn't really miss any shots, Doug Walsh. They came out pretty hot, and that's pretty. What do you want to see if you're Chris Zimmerman?
Well, I think they're still upset that they lost that game last week to Danville, and they came out here with a purpose. And this is the way they play. They play good, solid defense. They share the ball. They play together, and they're not going to change much now.
Off the mark, Danville, in fact, is losing to Susquehanna Township right now at the end of the first quarter, 13-9. Again, the winner of this, Allentown Central Catholic or West Philly, we will foul on the floor. But with the senior team like the Indians, that's strong when you're in the state playoffs, if they can get play like this.
Well, they've gotten knocked out in the first round last 3 years, and then 5 years ago they got knocked out in the first round also, so they came in here with a purpose.
Turnaround no good from Kopechny. Here's the Indians. Still want to push the pace. Wyoming area still in that kind of 2-3 matchup zone. They went to that midway through the first as they trail by 15.
And the idea is to keep the ball out of the middle.
The big guy, Shuey, blocked away. And it's into the Indians' hands. Price out on him quick. Lichty. Price already has 3. Can't get that one. Big board from Kopechny.
You see Litchie twice got it to Price. They were looking for him to shoot it since he's got the hot hand.
I was at the Danville Wyoming area game, or excuse me, Dallas Wyoming area game, and this the first quarter was very similar to that game. But Wyoming area just kept coming back. They trailed at halftime, and next thing you know, the third quarter they got hot. Dallas got cold, and they took a big lead. Big board outside to Luca, and Warriors just a little bit at a time.
Yeah, there's no quit in this team. You're not going to see any quit in this team. They're off to a bad start, and Shamokin couldn't get off to a better start, but these games are 32 minutes.
That's right. An opportunity here now on a turnover, and they could cut it to within 11.
Yeah, after that start, getting down so much, they'd be happy to keep it down, maybe get to single digits by halftime if they could. You'll see this guy's going to try to take the game over on the offensive end.
And he goes to the line one more time, hooping the harm for the sensational sophomore.
He can score, and he gets to the line, as we said in the open. Gets guys off his feet, pump fake. Got Steinhardt up in the air here. The foul there, and the finish.
And the 79% free throw shooter connects on that one. And just like I said, it's down to 11.
Well, the zone is kind of slowed Shamokin down. Good job by Wyoming area going zone.
Shuey inside, misses the layup, but gets his own rebound.
Well, if he gets the ball down that deep, they're going to have to go double him or get some help for him because he's too strong in there to stop one-on-one.
Shuey might be playing at Penn College next year. They made the playoffs this year. In the middle. Off the mark from Bruno Pisano. Number 21, a junior, couldn't make that layup. Shuey down the lane and in. And a timeout on the floor for Wyoming area with 5:36 remaining in the half. And we'll stay right here ourselves.
Well, Coach McCarrion wants to talk to his guy. You got a young team, you know. They missed that chippy down that end, and then they came back and gave an easy one.
Well, there's Chris Zimmerman. You look up on the board here, Coach. 2,061 points he scored here in Shamokin. He's the all-time leading scorer here in the Purple Pit.
That's all, 2,061.
That's it.
Some guys don't get 2,061 in their whole lifetime.
So Chris Zimmerman then went on to play for Susquehanna, and that's where Joey Heil landed. And there's Wyoming area. Haven't been in the playoffs since the 05-06 season. They lost to Danville that year. So Anthony Macario has a young team.
Yeah.
Just two seniors. Capecci's just a sophomore. Trying to build the program back up for the Warriors.
Yeah. Burkevich is a senior, and Morgan's a senior. That's pretty much it. So
and
they got everybody back.
I think DeLuca is too.
Oh yeah, DeLuca, yes. So they got a good nucleus coming back. This is a good experience for them here.
He took a timeout. Let's see what play they run. And they knew they were going to be facing a team like this, a bigger team. So they did scrimmage this week, Pittston area in Old Forge. So you knew they were against 6'6" Logan Fanning from Old Forge. So size there. Outside Burkevich. He gets fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot three. That's Anthony DeLuca.
Well, one thing so far, though, Shamokin's committing an awful lot of fouls. And when you're on the road, you got to try to get to the foul line. You got to kind of let him land, and I'm not so sure that Price let him land.
So here's DeLuca, quarterback on the football team. He'll get three. He's 68% on the year. Had 19 points as a high this year against Holy Redeemer. That was in their second meeting with the Royals.
He's got good size for a guard, too. He's big up top.
Heating back into the game for Pisano.
And Keating's back in there to try to defend the post a little bit better than Pisano did.
And he makes all three. So back down to 12. The advantage for Shamokin, who put up 26 in that first quarter.
Well, after that start, if you're Wyoming area, you're feeling a little bit better, but you can't give up easy ones like that. We said Heil might post up, and he's a big guard. He can post these smaller guys up on Wyoming area.
No kick. Here come the Indians back. They're going to push the pace. Wyoming area doesn't foul. I don't know if they've even committed a foul, Wyoming area. Shuey down low. There is a foul, and it's a hoop and harm for senior Joey Heil. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, you see they're running the high-low game. They have good bounce passing. That's 2 or 3 times they bounced it in from the foul line down. It's a real good bounce pass. Shuey's a real good passer for a big fella.
So here's Joey Heil headed to Susquehanna University. He scored 26 twice this year against Jersey Shore and Warrior Run.
Going to get on to Chris Zimmerman's alma mater, will play for Coach Frank Marcinek, the legend.
And another turnover for Wyoming area. And that's exactly what Shamokin wants to do. 4:30 left here in the first half. Bye-bye Doug Walsh is the opening round of the 4A State Boys playoffs, with the winner to face Allentown Central Catholic and/or West Philly. Their tip time was 7:30 tonight. They look inside, but it's going to be caught for a travel.
A good post defense there. Side post down low by Keating, and it caused a turnover. You see a little half court. They're going to trap out of it. But one thing this does, Bob, is it forces Wyoming area to play faster, and they don't want to do that. Shamokin wants you to play faster.
Markevich now with the much taller Shuey. Step back three, off the mark, but Keating's there with a big board. Puts it back up, can't get it to go. Had an offensive rebound. And Shuey tips it back in.
Now out in transition, they always look ahead, and they fire that ball down the floor.
Shuey has 8. Trap in the corner to Keating. No foul called out in front for Steinhardt, and another dunk.
He thought about jamming it, but then he thought better of it. Let's just get the 2 points.
He has 8, and the turnovers continue. Knocked away. DeLuca gets that one to go.
Took a little bump from Shuey there too, but still finished. You see how fast Shamokin gets the ball up the floor too.
A big board inside, and here's Wyoming area back the other way.
Steinhardt came from the foul line to get that rebound.
Another 4A game, Scranton Prep, 15-point advantage over Northwestern Lehigh in the 4A boys playoffs. That's down in Utropoli. And Kopechen's going to be called, and we should take our media timeout. .242 left in the half, a 19-point lead for Shamokin. Well, let's look at a last couple of games, over 10 games for Wyoming area, 17-9 coming in, and they, pretty much 500 ball.
Yeah, but you see that loss to Dallas there, they 69-42. Everybody on Wyoming area was sick that game, so they kind of laid an egg. But then you look down the bottom, they came back and eliminated Dallas from the tournament.
The young Dallas team as well. I think they feel like they should be here right now, but instead it's the Warriors, and they're trailing by 19. And they chipped away. They got it to within 11. But then a little run now by Shamokin has it back up.
Wyoming area comes back out and goes man-to-man now. They're going to try to get a couple of good possessions and a couple of stops. Maybe not let this thing get away from them.
Kopechny step back three, no good.
Well, even though he's scored a little bit, but he's confident.
So Hiles shot off the mark. Here come the Warriors. Like to make a little run now with 2 minutes left. Inside, Burkevich can't get the bank to go.
Well, you know, they're getting some good shots. You see the frustration on Coach Macario's face. They're getting some decent shots. They're just not falling.
The lane parted. Heil took advantage, and another dunk for Shamokin.
That's what they were worried about, going man-to-man. That was Lynchy with the steal.
Kopechny with a big block. Sure, no good, but he gets his own rebound.
Yeah, Shamokin just too big and strong.
Blocked from behind by Lichty. You almost feel like Wyoming area should foul this to slow this pace down. They kind of do.
Well, they have a couple more to give, yeah. They don't want to get in a running game. Nobody wants to get in a running game with Shamokin, and that's what Shamokin wants you to do. They want you to play their type of game, and that's what's happening so far. You see the take, a good block from behind by Lynchy.
And number 21, Barrett Walsh.
Barrett Walsh in the game, number 21 for Shamokin, a 5'8 freshman. And the turnaround, no good. Rebound, put back in by Shore.
When you go man-to-man, you got to check out, you got to box out. And what's happening is Wyoming area is not checking out. Shamokin's getting a lot of offensive rebounds.
Kopechny for three, kind of breaks that.
They're trying different guys on Kopechny, different guy guarding him everywhere. A couple of trips down the floor, they switch it up, but
inside, too easy. It's just too easy for Shamokin.
yeah, they're getting good position down low, and there's good passing, good entry passes, and they're just too strong in the post.
On the floor, Kopechny trying to push it a little bit. Can't get that one to go. Foul goes against Walsh, the fourth of this half. Kopechny thought he might shoot instead. Picked off. Rylan Price.
We'll see them play for the last one, I'm sure.
Nice crossover for Price, has a block. Time left for Wyoming area. In for Keating, or Kopechny, excuse me. He lays it up. Up and down we're going, and a good foul by Kopechny, I think, just to slow it down.
No, that's not a bad foul, is right. Probably would have got a layup at the buzzer. So now they're going to have to struggle to get an inbound play. 1
second left, a 22-point lead for the Indians, and Chris Zimmerman will use a 30-second timeout, I'm sure.
He wants to draw something up,
Draw
maybe get a
play.
slip. Yeah, maybe get a slip in the inside, or maybe a three around the perimeter.
So a team that averages 68.9 points per game is definitely putting on a show, and you can see why they average such a high game. And how impressive is that win now at Danville last week? What they only gave up 47 to this team.
Well, they must have played some pretty solid defense, Danville. And sometimes you might have a cold night, too. They don't have a cold night tonight, though, that's for sure.
Now Danville's trailing Susquehanna Township by 10.
This is the way Shamokin wants to play. That's the way they've been playing all year, and they've been pretty successful at it. Let's see what Coach Zimmerman draws up here. Maybe a slip inside or a quick three.
Heil the corner, caught it! Joey Heil, what a way to cap a first half here in the purple pit. It's been all Shamokin here at home in the opening round of the 4A state playoffs. It's a 25-point lead over Wyoming area from District 2. Coming up is the Jeff Ryan State Farm Insurance halftime show. We'll feature on Vic Fangio, and then Doug and I will be back with stats and highlights.
Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator Vic Fangio stopped by his hometown recently and spoke to the Dunmore Bucks football team.
Yeah, it's great. Come back and see my mother, who's still living in the same house that I grew up in. She just turned 98 a couple days ago. See other family members, friends, go to Rignacci's and have my favorite food there. It's nice. Always good to come home. And now that it's just 2 hours away, I'll be back here more often than when I was at other places.
Well, it's a big part of our tradition. Once a buck, always a buck. And Coach, he doesn't say he's from Scranton. He says he's from Dunmore, and that's a big part of our tradition. And, for him to be a part of our program and come back and talk to our guys today, it's really a special thing.
3rd and 16. Mahomes rolling out. Looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean.
Fangio's defense dominated the Super Bowl on their way to helping the Eagles earn their second trophy. The 66-year-old was named NFL Defensive Coordinator of the Year as he helped the Birds get back to being the #1 defense in the league.
And we were very, very consistent from about week 5 on of playing good. We didn't, we got beat by Washington there late in the season. Kind of a weird game in that we had 5 takeaways, but we still lost. But I think we ended up winning 16 out of the last 17 games, which in the NFL is pretty hard to do.
5 days after winning the Super Bowl, the Eagles paraded through Philadelphia with the Lombardi Trophy. Fangio says he's seen nothing like it.
It was crazy. It's, there had to be 1.5 million people there along the route, and just crazy. And but the Philadelphia fans are passionate. They love the Eagles. It's a great parade route going all the way down Broad Street, so it's kind of like it was made for it. But it was unbelievable how many people came out for them. They had my picture on these sticks, big picture, so I got off the bus and went over there and spent some time with them.
Vic Fangio played for the Dunmore Bucks in the 70s, and he learned a lot about football from Coach Jack Henzis, who had to be smiling down from above when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl.
He was persistent. One thing he always said about Coach is, I remember the day that he got fired, and Coach said he's persistent, he'll be back, and he came back even stronger.
You think he was looking down during the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. Yeah, no question about it.
He would just be really proud and happy, and I think those would be his overwhelming feelings.
They kept saying you don't smile a lot. Are you smiling now?
Yeah, it's just the way I am. I don't smile a whole lot. I've kind of gotten that moniker, but that's just who I am.
Bob Ide, Fox 56 Sports.
We're back in the purple pit. Bob and Doug Walsh, 50-25 the score. Shamokin out of District 4 leading District 2 third seed Wyoming area by 25 points, Doug. And it's pretty much a dominating performance from a senior-laden Indian team. We've seen threes, layups, and a couple dunks in that first half.
Yeah, they got good balance. They're playing together. They're sharing it well. They're playing stifling defense. They're taking Wyoming area out of their offense, pushing it up the floor. Doing everything they need to do to get up 25.
Yeah, no ill effects from that loss last week in the district final for Wyoming area, though. I mean, Luke Kopechny's doing what he can, but too many turnovers, I think, for the Warriors in that first half.
Yeah, the defense is just stifling for Shamokin. It's really taken Wyoming area out of it. Kopechny's doing his best to keep them in it, but he can't do it alone. He's going to need some help. They got some easy ones, and they missed them. You'd expect that with a young team, and I think the experience of Shamokin is showing.
Yeah, absolutely. All 5 starters have scored for the Indians. So let's take a look at some of those first half highlights if you missed things. And it was pretty much the Indians' way all night. First quarter, they scored 26. Second quarter, they scored 24. And Ryland Price got things going from outside.
Yeah, you see they get out in transition. This is the easy one for the dunk early off the defense. And they're doing a lot of running off their defense. They're forcing turnovers, and then they're finding each other on the perimeter. They share the ball well, this team. Probably got a lot of assists tonight because they're knocking down shots and they're finding the open man.
Wyoming area did have it down to 11 at one point, but then Shamokin went back to work, especially on the inside, just too easy, especially from a big guy like Jensen Shuey. And another dunk there by Steinhardt. So all Indians here in the purple pit. We'll take a timeout. Second half, third quarter are on the way in the opening round of the PIAA 4A state playoffs. We are back. Both teams on the floor getting set to begin this second half. Wyoming area in the road green uniforms with the gold trim. Shamokin in the white with the purple trim here in the purple pit. So Wyoming area ball down 25. And DeLuca has a couple threes and that first shot off the mark. So definitely a learning experience tonight for this Warrior team on the road.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the second half if Shamokin tries to work on some things. They're probably going to go full bore for another quarter. Don't want to change things up. You want to try to maintain some consistency at this level of play.
Kopechny three-pointer no good. So we have Price with a good one. 2 off the mark for Wyoming area. And Heil just inside, too easy on Kopechny.
Well, Kopechny went for the steal.
And Wyoming area has to call a timeout 55 seconds into this third quarter.
Coach McCary, he didn't like the defense in the post and wants to reinforce the things they just talked about at halftime.
So it's a 30-point lead going into the fourth quarter. I think it's a 40-point lead in the third before the clock starts running.
And it only stops on timeouts and fouls, right?
Yeah, I believe. And, of course, we'll take a couple media timeouts in there as well. So, been all Chris Zimmerman's team. Both teams had an extended layoff before we start this playoff. Just about 10 days for Wyoming area and a week for Shamokin.
I think the time off certainly helped Shamokin because they're healthy, they're fresh, they're ready to play.
Forget about that loss last week and maybe see what happens in the state playoffs. Kopechny no good. Heil going to push.
You know, you never like to lose, but sometimes a loss get you refocused.
Shuey for 3. And Kopechny got banged up in that one.
Referee Jeff Bauer wants to check on him, see if he's okay.
Stays in the game.
A little zone here by Shamokin too. Now, you see about they do play zone once in a while, but they're going to treat this as a practice session right now for the remaining time here in the half.
DeLuca from the corner. He's got 2. He's got 11 now. He's in double figures.
Well, if you're Wyoming area and they're playing zone, you've got to go inside and then come back outside.
Iowa with a big advantage over Pepe on top of the key there. In the corner for Lichty. Got it. So a little home cooking, just what the chef ordered here in Shamokin.
Well, the size of Shamokin is enabling them to shoot right over the Wyoming area defenders. Even if they're up on them tight, they can still shoot over them.
And Shamokin's played a tough schedule this year. They beat Dallas. They beat Wilkes-Barre. I think they played Abington as well, right?
And Crestwood, they came up and beat all 4 of those teams. And Crestwood held them to 61, but they scored over 70 in the other 3 games. So they're happy to see somebody else from District 2 in the playoffs because, as we said earlier, in the first round last year, Valley View beat them. The year before, Valley View beat them. The year before that, Dallas beat them. So they're happy to see somebody else from District 2.
Yeah, 3 straight losses to District 2. They lost in 2019 to Wilson by 11. As Kevich gets a shot in.
They took care of everybody up in District 2 in the regular season, but the playoffs are a different story, so they may have gotten that squared away. Wyoming area going zone.
Of course, the winner will play Allentown Central or West Philly. Trying to get a score for you. That game started at tip at 7:30. 2 big offensive boards, and the putback by Steinhardt.
2 offensive rebounds on that possession. You see the zone, even the zone pushes Wyoming area out higher than they want to be. They're out near midcourt running their offense.
Nowhere inside. Nice step back from the senior.
They can score Wyoming area, but Burkevich, they're confident. They shoot it. They got step back. They make 3s.
Price too easy down the lane. No good. Shuey touched, and it should be our timeout on the floor. It is 3:35. And we'll take a timeout. 65-32 the score. Indians over the Warriors.
You're watching Watsontown Trucking Company High School Hoops, presented by Bath Fitter on MyTV WQMY.
Back inside the purple pit. All purple leaders tonight. Indians over the Warriors. Bye-bye, Doug Walsh, courtside. Stolen by Denson Shuey with the little tip over, I think, to Heil. I'm going to say that was a pass.
They're talking about it a little bit. He thought he maybe throw it off the board for a slam for Heil. I don't think Heil was trailing.
Heil, a little hoop in the arm for the senior. Up and in for Joey Heil.
You see Burkevich with a disgusted look on his face. He tried to foul him intentionally so he couldn't get it off, but Heil just too strong. He bumped him there, and then you see the disgusted look by Burkevich.
Heil at the line and try to complete the three-point play. Into Wyoming area, Bruno Pizarro, number 21, and number 23,
Jacob Morgan in the ball game, another senior for Wyoming area.
Heil completes the three-point play. He has 15 points tonight. He's their leading scorer, and off the mark for DeLuca.
That was deep. That was way out there. But you got to credit Shamokin's defense for pushing him out there. That's the only shot available.
Well, this Warrior team lost to Prep 66-32 in their playoffs, and then of course rebounded to beat Dallas in a similar outing here. I'm sure we'll see some of the younger players come in the fourth quarter. As Sure, the sophomore, number 5, with a little bank.
A little 1-3-1 action too by Shamokin. They're just trying to hone their game for the next opponent.
Now
it may be.
It will be a running clock, except for media timeouts in between quarters and foul shots. So we're at that 40-point mark. A lot to regroup for Wyoming area, just to make the playoffs, get some extra practices. I'm sure they'll be back next year.
Well, they're so young, and they got the player of the conference on their team as a sophomore, so they're only going to get better.
So we have one more quarter coming up.
You see Shamokin too bad. They went zone to kind of slow the pace. They don't want to run the score up. They're also taking a little bit more time on the offensive end.
One minute to play in the third. Kopechny can't get that one to go. Goes back inside with the left hand.
Good job crashing the boards there by Wyoming area that time. Got him another possession. Kopechny made him pay.
So we'll go to the free throw line. The clock will stop right now after the call. Here's the foul.
She's staying aggressive.
This is Case Lichty, a senior.
Yeah, you don't want to take your foot off the gas if you're Shamokin. That's when bad things can happen to you. So you got to keep going full bore.
Lichty this year, 22 against Wilkes-Barre and against Mifflinburg. His high this year. So about 30 seconds left in this third quarter. Kevich going to be fouled.
Yeah, they're going to get Steinhardt on a little bump on the drive. Let's see if Wyoming area can draw something up here before the quarter.
Off the mark. Good rebound inside by Pisano. Fadeaway 3 for DeLuca at the buzzer. So a good way for Wyoming area at least to end this quarter, but it's been all Indians. We had the quarter number 4 after this.
You're watching Watsontown Trucking Company High School Hoops, presented by Bath Fitter on MyTV WQMY.
Back for quarter number 4 here in the opening round of the state playoffs. As I said, the winner of tonight looks like Shamokin will take on Allentown Central West Philly. Right now in the first quarter, in the books, Central Catholic leads West Philly 17-12. That game is down in Allentown. So Allentown Central Catholic, I believe, is the winner, the champion from District 11. Northwestern Lehigh was the runner-up. They're playing Prep tonight, up quickly to Ryland Price. So the starters looks like into the game a little bit still for Shamokin.
Going to give him a couple more minutes, maybe 3 or 4 more minutes, just work out some things. I think he wants to see this zone a little bit more with this starting unit. Coach Zimmerman does 1-3-1 zone.
Nice move by Drew Keating.
With the spin.
See the mass substitutions ready to come in to give these guys a rest.
Jacob Morgan, number 23, a senior, into the game for the Warriors. Shamokin now just making those little extra passes. Price books back in. He's got 14.
They don't trap out of this 1-3-1. They're just laning it, playing in lanes.
Kopechny. Morgan, one of the small guys, gets around the big boys.
Yeah, Brian Alberts to stop the game, get his substitutes in, his running clock. He wants to get the guys into the ball game. Yeah, that's why Coach Zimmerman had him in there to get an ovation, because this is probably their last home game.
Well, it is their last home game. No probably about it. Again, nice career, just couldn't get that District 4 championship that they wanted for the starters, all the seniors that have compiled just a great record here with Shamokin this last 4 years. Well, if they go win a state title, it won't matter, right? I guess.
Yeah. Well, they only have 4 losses all year.
Yep. Nice inside by for Xavier Paul, the freshman. So Shamokin came out hot, 26 points in that first quarter. It was 26-9 was the score, and been all Indians the rest of the way.
Steinhardt passed it ahead to Lowry. Lowry went right through his hands. Now, you can't stop playing the way you always play just because of the score, Bob. So these guys, when they get a chance to play, they're playing zone, so they're not trying to run it up and not playing man-to-man, but you still got to try to run.
Kopechny, the hoop and the harm. We're going to still play hard. The sophomore, despite the score, again, their last game of the year.
On the flip side, too, you see this guy gets to the foul line an awful lot. On the flip side, Bob, Wyoming area, they want to have their kids play and, have this taste in their mouth so they're hungry to get back here next year.
Well, it'll be a tough 4A bracket again. Valley View loses a bunch of players. Prep, 2 good seniors, very good seniors. Some guys off the bench. So 4A be competitive again in District 2.
Yeah, as we talked about off camera too, that 4A in the state of Pennsylvania is probably the toughest bracket of all of them. Now, if you're Shamokin, you want to run your offense a little bit. Janoski, you see Janoski hit the head up in the air like, what else can go wrong? It was right in his hands and it fell out.
Okay, we'll take a timeout on the floor. 4:04 left in the game. All Shamokin. We'll take our last timeout here from the Purple Pit. Well, as we said, Shamokin 23-4. Their 2 losses. A very good Trinity team, as Chris Zimmerman says, who's now on the opposite side of the bracket. They're in AAA. And then Danville last week, as you look at what Shamokin has done this year. Pretty much dominated the Pennsylvania Athletic Conference.
No, they didn't lose a game in the conference.
Nope,
did they? Yeah.
11-0.
And the four losses are to some pretty good teams. And as we said before, they took on the class of District 2 up there, and they beat everybody. They beat Crestwood. They beat Wilkes-Barre area. They beat Abington.
Dallas.
They beat Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4 of the top teams up in District 2. And they've been doing that too. They came up every year in the preseason, and they played prep a couple years ago. You got to play tough competition. You got to get yourself ready for games like this.
John Turner, number 10 in the game for Wyoming area. Number 5 is Mike Janoski. Shamokin fighting underneath.
Chesney had an easy one. The crowd went wild for Chesney if he made that one. They'll try to get him a couple more shots, though.
Under 3 to play. Berekevich, the senior, going to play out the end of this game, it looks like.
And there it is. They were actively trying to get Chesney a shot.
Yep.
They got him one, and he scored. That's another thing you like too, Bob, when these younger guys get in and these substitutes get in, and the starters are cheering for them and happy when they score.
Traveling violation. Number 31, Jared Lowry. Number 21, Barrett Walsh. For Wyoming area, number 30, Leland Walsh.
And see Berekevich's night is done. So is DeLuca.
He'll get a big hug from his coach. The 2 seniors over there got their teams into the playoffs. Downtown shot for Aiden Walsh. The other one, number 30, Beckett Chesney, a freshman. Got that last back in for Shamokin. Corner pocket, no good. Under 90 to play. Both the younger guys fighting, getting on the floor. Why not? Laid it up and in by Colby Walsh. For both Walsh boys.
A lot of Walshes.
No relation, right? Coach?
No relation. There's a Walsh on every team here. There's 2 on Wyoming area, and there's 1 on Shamokin, and there's 1 trying to pretend he knows something about basketball.
Braxton Hout, a freshman, 6'2", nails a 3-pointer. A foul on the floor. That should stop the clock momentarily, but this one is well in the books. Chesney comes back into the game. Well, I thank the administration here from Shamokin for always welcoming us 2 years in a row here in the Purple Pit. Enjoy the state playoffs, everyone. Should be a great tournament. Rooting for all of our 570 area code teams. And this should be the last possession. And that should cap it. Barrett Walsh puts it in, and that will do it. They get to 90. The final score, 90-60. Shamokin area picks up win number 24 on the season, and they move on in the 4A Boys State Playoffs. Doug and I will have the players of the game on the other side, and we'll recap this one and get you ready for the state playoffs. After this, a 30-point win for the Indians.
Joey's coming. Back in the purple pit, a big 30-point win for Shamokin, their first state playoff win since 2009. Rylan Price, one of the seniors, hot start. How important was he, especially after last week's loss, to come here and start hot?
Yeah, it's our last game at home, so we felt the need to come out full intensity and get this win.
Last couple of years, we had the game last year, lost to Valley View. You weren't going to let that happen again, right?
Yeah, no, sir. No, we weren't taking an L at home again.
When you guys play well, what goes right for you? We saw a lot of that tonight.
When we're moving the ball, we're hitting our big guys and they're dishing out because everyone's looking to double them, so a lot of us can step up and shoot.
You're the smallest starter. Yeah. How do you feel out there?
I feel just as big as the other ones. I bring the intensity, so it's kind of like I'm just as tall as them.
Okay, let's bring the 6'6" senior in, Joey Heil. And Joey, a big win for you. How important, again, to get out to that fast start?
It meant a lot. We knew we had to make a statement right from the start, just try to end it early, and that's what we did. We came out, we hit big shots, and got big stops on defense.
I know it hasn't been the career, especially for your seniors, that you wanted. You didn't get to the district finals, but can you make a run here and after a win tonight?
Yeah, I definitely think this win washed a little bit of the bad taste from last week out of our mouth. It means a lot, getting a state playoff game first since 2009, and just finally getting over that hump for a state playoff game that us seniors have been.
Yeah, obviously it's a senior-laden team. So what do you have to do in your next game? It's going to be Central Catholic or West Philadelphia.
We just got to prepare. We got to take our next days of practice, bring the intensity, and just get better every day and game plan.
Joey Heil moving on to Susquehanna, the coach's alma mater. Good luck out there, and good luck in the state playoffs, Joey. Good to see you again. Let's bring Doug Walsh back in to wrap this one up. Wyoming area, though, not to be disappointed. I know they look at the score, but it's a good team. They got an extra week of practice, and now they had that experience now what it's like in the state playoffs.
Well, you got to like that. Coach McCarroll's done a great job building this team up, and they're young. They got 2 or 3 sophomores in there, and Kopechny, he's only a sophomore. He's the player of the year, so they have a lot to look forward to Wyoming area, but you come down on the home floor and they come in and they play lights out like they did today. Shamokin would have beat the Lakers today the way they played. so if they can bottle this up, they'll be a force to be reckoned with, Shamokin.
You mentioned the 4A state playoffs, how tough they are going to be. But how about any area 5-7-0 teams, boys, that might have a chance? I think you have to think Holy Cross and Riverside have a great chance in the tournament.
Certainly they're 2 of the best teams in probably in the state. I like Old Forge. Holy Cross moves out of that AA now. Yeah. The whole force they're a team to be reckoned with. So if I had to pick one, I'd say my pick would be Old Forge. J.J. Thomas does a nice job with that squad. I look for them to make a little run.
There you go. You heard it. I agree, too. I think with Logan Fanning in the middle, that 2A, they could definitely make a little run. So we want to thank the entire Fox 56 sports crew. Doug, great season with us here on MyTV High School Hoops. Always a good time with you guys. And then good luck to all of our teams, boys and girls, in the state playoffs throughout the month of March. So for the entire Fox 56 sports crew, for Doug Walsh, for the final time, this is Bob Ide saying so long, and see you from Shamokin.
You're watching Watsontown Trucking Company High School Hoops, presented by Bath Fitter on MyTV WQMY.